Could Iran really challenge the most powerful military on Earth? Just imagine this. On one side, the most powerful military in the world, with a budget worth hundreds of billions of dollars. On the other, a country under heavy sanctions, its economy under constant pressure, and yet, a single decision from this nation is enough to make the entire world uneasy. If the United States and Iran come face to face, would the war be over in just a matter of days? Or would it become a conflict that sets the entire Middle East on fire? In today's video, we won't deal in emotions, only facts. Is Iran truly a threat to the United States, or is it nothing more than an illusion? How dangerous could this situation really get? Is Iran truly powerful enough to pose a serious threat to a military giant like the United States? Or is this all just part of political pressure and psychological warfare? Most importantly, compared to U.S. military power, does Iran truly represent a significant challenge? Let's take a detailed, fact-based look at the scenario, setting emotions aside. If you've been following our military comparison videos, you already know just how vast, advanced, and expensive the U.S. arsenal is. The United States is the only country that spends more on defense than any other nation, by a huge margin. According to various international media outlets and research institutions, while there are minor differences in exact numbers, the U.S. defense budget in 2018 ranged from approximately $587 billion to $597 billion, surpassing the total budgets of many countries combined. But the story doesn't end there. According to the official U.S. Department of Defense, DoD, website, then-President Donald Trump proposed an additional $160 billion in defense spending, which, by the DoD's own projections, would bring the 2019 budget to roughly $686 billion. So, where does all that money go? The U.S. Department of Defense distributes the budget across several critical military branches: the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The Joint Chiefs act as the central command brain of the U.S. military, coordinating all branches and managing war strategies. Their mission statement clearly emphasizes that future warfare will test not only technology but also leadership, requiring top-notch training, advanced education, and practical experience for leaders at every level. It's important to note that the defense budget is not only spent on expensive weapons, advanced aircraft, or warships. A significant portion goes toward the salaries, benefits, and welfare of millions of personnel. The U.S. military currently has around 2,083,000 personnel, including over 1,281,000 active duty service members and roughly 800,000 in the reserve force. Special forces, intelligence agencies, cyber warfare units, artificial intelligence, drone technology, advanced surveillance systems, and research and development, R&D, projects also account for a large portion of the budget. Breaking down the budget in detail makes the picture even clearer. The Navy and Air Force receive roughly $205 billion, the Army $191.4 billion, Joint Military Programs $116.6 billion, R&D $104.3 billion, procurement of new weapons, aircraft, and ships $143.1 billion. Personnel salaries and benefits $155.8 billion, military housing and construction $22.5 billion, and the largest single portion, about $292.7 billion, goes to maintenance, repairs, and operational expenses. While adding these numbers exceeds the total budget slightly, it's because some expenses overlap multiple categories. Looking at the U.S. military's procurement, advanced aircraft like the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter stand out. While some countries have shown less interest, global demand remains strong. The U.S. currently has around 200 F-35s, with plans to produce an additional 1,763. The U.S. Air Force is considered the world's most powerful, equipped with F-22 Raptors, F-15E Strike Eagles, F/A-18 Super Hornets, F-16 Fighting Falcons, KC-46 aerial tankers, and advanced B-21 stealth bombers. Now, compare this immense military power to Iran. Can Iran spend billions on a single advanced fighter jet? The simple answer is no. Recent reports indicate Iran's defense budget is limited to around $43 billion. For context, the U.S. spent approximately $15 billion to build just one Ford-class aircraft carrier, a large portion of Iran's entire defense budget. Currently, the U.S. has 20 aircraft carriers, 68 destroyers, 68 submarines, over 13,400 military aircraft, roughly 5,700 helicopters, and 6,287 modern tanks. This makes the comparison feel almost like the biblical story of David and Goliath. On the other hand, Iran has 523,000 active troops and around 350,000 in reserves. Its air force includes 509 aircraft, including U.S.-made F-4 Phantoms, French Mirage F-1S, Russian Sukhois, and the domestically produced Kahr 313. While not entirely weak, much of Iran's equipment is aging and falls behind modern standards. Iran possesses 1,634 tanks, 2,345 armored vehicles, and 34 submarines, but no aircraft carriers or modern destroyers. Still, Iran's military cannot be dismissed entirely. The region's geographic complexities, harsh conditions, and highly trained special units like the Quds Force make it a dangerous opponent. Regarding nuclear capability, the New York Times reports Iran is at least a year away from posing a serious threat, and most experts agree a direct attack on the U.S. by Iran is extremely unlikely. As Newsweek correctly noted, a powerful arsenal is only useful to a point. For now, the hope remains that diplomacy prevails, preventing another devastating conflict. So, the conclusion is clear. On paper, this matchup looks like David versus Goliath, but history also teaches us that not every war is won by sheer power. If a war were to break out between the United States and Iran, perhaps one side might emerge victorious, yet the cost would be felt around the world. Now, here's the question for you. If such a war were to happen, do you think strength would decide the outcome, or the price paid? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy fact-based videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.